All right, welcome. Today, we are diving deep into something truly fascinating. It's one of the most complex, most intricate systems for analyzing lottery data that I have ever seen. Seriously, it's a wild attempt to find a pattern in what most people would just call, pure chance. So let's get right into it.
So where this all starts is with a bit of a mystery. On one side of the coin, we have what looks like a simple, kind of old-school, handwritten notebook. Just look at this. It's literally page after page of dates, a 3-digit number, and then this little code, C8, C12, C2. What on earth could that mean? It's this massive, cryptic log of lottery results. The big question is, what is this code? What is it actually tracking? But then, you flip the coin over, and you find this. Super technical jargon. I mean, we're talking version updates, confidence decay, progression validation. This stuff feels like it's from a completely different universe than that simple notebook. It sounds more like it belongs in a sophisticated data science lab.
And that, right there, is the huge question we're going to tackle in this explainer. How in the world does this system connect that daily list of winning numbers to a framework packed with these complicated rules and terminology? Let's figure it out together.
Okay, time to crack this thing open. The key to understanding all of it is a document called the SWERTRES Cycles Briefing. You could think of it as our Rosetta Stone. It's what's going to teach us the language of this entire system.
And first up, we have the concept that solves our first mystery, the cycle. Remember those C8 and C12 codes from the notebook? Well, this is what they refer to. See, instead of trying to track all 1,000 individual numbers, the system is way smarter. It groups them into 22 distinct families, or cycles. So every single winning number belongs to one and only one of these cycles.
Okay, so once you get cycles, the next piece is something called a missing base. The best way to think about it is like the system has a checklist for every single cycle, and a number is considered missing if it just hasn't shown up as a winner yet. The whole point, the ultimate goal for any cycle, is to eventually get all of its missing numbers checked off the list.
And the last big piece of the puzzle? The gap. This one is super simple. It's all about time. It's just the number of days since any number from a particular cycle has won. And this concept is absolutely crucial, because according to this system, the longer the gap, the more pressure starts to build up for that cycle to make a comeback.
So, you've got cycles, missing bases, and gaps. How do they all work together? Well, this system isn't just a dictionary of terms. It has its own set of rules. They call them movement laws that try to describe how these cycles are expected to behave. This slide lays out the 6 core laws that the system uses to make sense of the data. Now, we're not going to get lost in all of them, but let's zoom in on a couple of key ones. To this system, a win is never just a win. Law number 1 defines its state. Was it a breakthrough after a really long silence? And law number 4 defines its quality. Was it a clean hit that finally delivered one of those needed missing bases? Or was it just a recycled number that's already appeared before? You see, this whole framework gives a specific name and a specific value to every single result. Now, to really get how this system decides which cycle to pay attention to, we need to talk more about that pressure. Let's stick with that weather forecast analogy. The longer a cycle has a gap, meaning it's been quiet for a while, the more, let's say, atmospheric pressure builds up around it. And check this out. This table shows you exactly how they measure that pressure. It's broken down into 7 tiers. A gap of, say, 0 to 6 days? That's just active, no big deal. But once you cross that 22-day mark, a cycle gets promoted to high pressure. And if it goes past 29 days, it hits a critical state. The system uses these tiers to laser focus its attention. All right, that's enough theory. Let's see this thing in action. We're going to walk through the system's actual analysis of a single day, April 18, 2026. Here they are, the raw results for that day. 3 draws, 3 winning combinations. To you and me, they're probably just random numbers. But to the system, each one tells a very specific story. So that first result of the day, 484, this was a huge deal for the system. It belonged to cycle 17, which had been silent for 31 days. I mean, a 31-day gap. According to the rules we just saw, that long gap makes this a breakthrough. And even better, it was a missing base, so the system flags it as a clean hit. This is the exact kind of event this whole thing is built to find. But then you look at the other 2 wins, and they're a totally different story. Their gaps were super short, just 1.5 days, and neither of them delivered a missing base. So the system just kind of shrugs and labels them recycled hits. They're considered part of the normal, everyday background noise of the lottery.
So this brings us to the million-dollar question, right? What is the whole point of all this tracking and labeling and classifying? Can this incredibly complex system actually predict anything?
Let's look at the system's very own forecast for that day. Based on those pressure tiers we talked about, it flagged 3 specific cycles, 16, 21, and 22, as its primary watch targets. And why? Well, they all had long gaps, 25 days or more, putting them right in that high pressure zone. The system was basically screaming, hey, watch these, something's going to happen here. So this system flags 3 hot cycles. The winning numbers for the day come out, and how many of them came from the system's top picks? Get ready for it. 0. A big, round 0.
And you don't have to take my word for it. This is the most telling part. The system's own report for the day acknowledges this. It explicitly says, verified record, 0 correct, 0 pre-registered predictions. For all its complexity, its forecasting on that day missed the mark entirely.
Which leaves us with this final thought to chew on. Is this whole elaborate system, with its cycles, its laws, its pressure tiers, is it all just a beautiful, intricate map of pure coincidence? Or is it a real, if maybe imperfect, attempt to decode a hidden language in the chaos of randomness? Ultimately, I think that's for you to decide. Thanks for joining me.